Okay, so in this video we're going to use the Nissan Micra to test the water decarbonisation method, just like we did with the seafoam. So first of all, we've got to do all the boring stuff like remove the spark plug so we can gain access to the cylinders, much like exactly the same way as I did the seafoam test. It's all pretty simple stuff. Just remove the spark plugs and let's get the computer to start looking inside. Okay, with my endoscope all turned up, as you can see, showing off. First thing is cylinder 1, so we're going to expect cylinder 1. Now this is before any treatment. Yep, just as it is. This is it inside. Now it's not extremely dirty, but it has got caked up carbon on it. I mean, each of the cylinders are slightly different. That could be for a number of reasons. It could be for poor. If it had direct injection, it'd be poor injectors or spark plugs or coil packs or anything like that. But as you can see, they're all pretty. They've all got some crud on them. They've all got some carbon buildup, but they're all slightly different because they all have slightly different environments that they're working in. They might be getting fed differently. Breathers and all the rest of it could all affect the way the cylinders are burning. So you can see this one's a bit more caked up, and even where the build-up of carbon is different. So, you know, just take it into consideration that they're not going to be all the same and they're not all uniform. And this happens from things like not good, bad spark plugs or even poor air filters can cause this. For example, piston forcing is particularly caked up. Not really sure why. Maybe it just needs a service, but this one's particularly caked up. But that's the inspection of the 4 pistons inside the engine. Okay, what we got next? See? Now it's the same thing as before. We just got to put everything back the way it came out, and then kind of like just onto doing the procedure. Now the procedure that we did, I kind of followed seafoam to a degree, but I actually missed a part of it. We're going to be adding this to the air intake, direct into the air intake, the throttle body. We do that by removing the air filter housing. As you can see, that hole in the middle is direct. I moved it completely. All cars are slightly different, but the basics are an air filter housing. Now with the decarb juice, my decarb juice that I'm going to be selling on my website, I made a 50-50 ratio, so my decarb juice to the same amount of water. So that was the solution I worked with. You can have it more water, you could have it less water. It's entirely up to you. Distilled water, I guess, is the best because it's consistent and you know what type of water you've got. But generally, the water should be fine. Any water you can drink should be pretty okay. Okay, so I'm using my hand to rev it because this has got like a manual throttle, a cable throttle. And as I'm getting the revs quite high, I'm just firing the water in there and I'm just taking my time to do that. You don't want to pour water out of a Coke can down there. That's not good. You want to have it kind of sprayed in there so it can, it's taking a bit of air with it. And that's how I would do it. You can also use the brake booster hose. Just like you did see me with the seafoam test where I poured it into the brake booster hose, you can use that method as well. I actually use it in this one where I let it soak for a minute and really try and get into the cylinders to try and give it the best chance possible. You have to remember, this doesn't have the same sort of time to work on the engine like seafoam does. Seafoam gets time to go in the petrol tank and come through the fuel, and this just goes just directly into the air intake onto the cylinders. So like I said, I pretty much followed the procedure on seafoam and pretty much got the same effect. This is condensation. This is not smoke from the oil burning. This is just condensation, and it clears up really, really quickly. So like I said, once it cleared up, I just carried on the procedure. Now we're back here to re-inspect the engine again. All this boring stuff, you've seen this all before, but I have to show that I'm doing it. And look, I'm back inspecting it again. So now this is the piston 1. This is what it looked like when we first, this is what it looked like in the beginning, and this is what it looks like after. Now you can see it's a bit wet in there, so that, to me, that's a good thing because it's soaking in there still. And in my head, it looks a little bit cleaner. I could be biased, but my interpretation of this is that it looks a little bit cleaner and brighter. So this is them together side by side. I used a bigger picture so you can see the whole resolution of it, the whole screen of it, instead of just part of it, because when you put it side by side you only see part. But in my opinion, the one on the right side looks cleaner, and that's the treated side. Now this is piston 2 as stated. Like I said, they're all slightly different because of the way they've been treated, the way they've been burning in there. So this is the before picture and this is the after picture. It's a bit hard to tell what's going on here. I mean, it's a matter of opinion whether it really works, but I do like that little wet part on the side. That shows me that it's getting in there and it's working in there, and it's starting to attack that carbon. As you can see, it's not so focused in the center. I mean, like I said, I could be being biased, but in my opinion, I think there's a little bit of evidence to show that this is actually doing something in there. Piston 3, much the same situation. Caked up carbon in a certain way. This is the before picture again. So now we're going to get the after picture, which well, it's clean in the middle. It's much cleaner in the middle, in my opinion. I could be making it up, but for me, these are more realistic. This is more substantial evidence that it's actually doing something. And this is them side by side. You can clearly see in the middle is cleaner, in my opinion, you know. But yeah, this is what the water's done. Now, for me, this is the most exciting because this one was particularly caked up, and it was, you know, there's a clear distinction between the black and the black carbon and the white, or the more grey kind of colour in the middle. So this was before the test, as we show, and this is the inspection after the water decarbonisation. For me, that's night and day. For me, this is proof that it actually works. Maybe you'd have to do it a few more times and maybe a bit more regular, but for me, this is concrete evidence that there's actually this thing is, the theory is, it works and it's consistent. But like I say, you can make your own opinions. This is them side by side, same places. So, you know, you can make your own decision of whether you think it works or not. But for me, I really like it, and I'm going to stick with it. And it makes the car respond better. You know, it does everything that you want it to do. Everything I've said it does, it does. I'm just showing you a picture of the rubbish that came out of the back of the car. So I hope this test was good enough. I hope I've shown enough information on it. Comment, rate, subscribe, add me to the Facebook. Thank you for watching.